Hey, this is Jeff with Eternity Shore. We're getting close to getting pulled out of the water. We have our date for that set up, I believe Friday, November 14th, which is a little bit late. I came to the boat here for real quick because we haven't been here in a while. It's been like maybe 10 days since I've been on the boat, and then it's going to be another whole week, maybe a week and a half, until I can get back on the boat. So I want to be able to run the engines. I don't put in the fuel treatment every time we fill up because we usually run at least once a week. That might be a mistake, maybe you guys do, but I definitely want to put in fuel treatment right now. Definitely we do that, over the winter we'll do that at the end. I'm going to add the fuel stabilizer to both tanks, and then I'll run the engines for like 5 minutes to stir that up and get them going. I also want to run the generator a little bit because it hasn't been run for a little bit. Current status of the boat is both engines are working finally. We have the power steering ram has been installed in the starboard. The only problem is, and this is not the only problem, because the whole summer has been brutal, but once that all got fixed and taken care of, we went up on plane a couple weeks ago, and the port side engine consistently is overheating and the alarm's going off. When I say overheating, like over 200 degrees. We have been running on one engine and one engine only most of the summer. I think maybe there have been 4 weeks where we've had both engines and be able to get up on a plane. Now we have both engines and we have one that's overheating. So it's been crazy. The haul out is kind of sad, but it's kind of good. We need a total reset from this year. We were on one basic trip the whole summer, and if you look back at seasons 1, 2, and 3, we took between 5 and 10 trips every year. Otherwise, it's been just a ton of maintenance and things not working. Now, we've had a lot of people on the boat this summer. They were able to tolerate one engine for whatever reason, but this has been the most difficult by far. So I'll just have you follow me around here for a little bit. First thing we'll do is take out the tool that helps us open the fuel tanks. All right, I put stabilizer in both tanks. Let's open the hatch. So here's my step-by-step of turning on the engines. First, you want to run the blower for 4 minutes. Blowers, 4 minutes. Because I'm not going anywhere by running the engines, what I want to do is I want to turn off the battery charger, because I don't want to start the engines with the battery charger on. Oh, and here's my panel. So I don't have to turn this off, but I'll just turn off the battery charger. Check. You always want to make sure the through holes are open on your boat. Those valves are up. I don't close them and open them every time we leave the boat. I leave the valves open all the time, partly because I think the more you mess with the valve, probably the more likelihood it would break. So generally seems to be common that you're not going to shut the through hole off every time you leave the boat. Maybe some of you do. I don't. Maybe longer periods of time you would. I'm not sure. But the sea holes, the sea cocks are both in the open position, so water will be running through that. The other thing we have to do is turn on the starter batteries, because they're not always on. And for me, there's our switches that are in the engine room, and I'll show you those switches here. Otherwise, at the helm, the key isn't going to do any good. The battery switches. This would be probably a good time to check the oil in both engines. It's a good engine check. And after 4 minutes, go ahead and start it. Turn the blower off. That's better. Now, before you start the engines, kind of important that you make sure the throttles, the shifters are in the right position. So these throttles are all the way back. These are the shifters on my boat. So this would be forward, neutral, and reverse. And you want both of these to be in the neutral position, because the last thing you want is your boat to start going on you. I'm not running these engines all that long, but I'll probably step off the boat. But if I ran them for a long time, I probably want to take off some of the covers, the canvas, so I don't get fumes in here. But we're gonna go ahead and turn them on. Starboard. So I'm not gonna put them on much more than idle. Wait about 5 minutes or so just to get them heated up, warmed up. And when I'm done with that, we'll turn the generator on and we're going to let that run for a little bit. So we ran those engines. Want to run the generator. The generator has its own seacock, so you want to make sure that that valve is open. Mine is. The starter batteries are already on. My diesel generator, next gen, has this button down here that is both stop but also preheat, and it heats some glow plugs, glow sticks or whatever, in the engine area, so that when I hit start, it will more easily start. So we're going to give this a shot. And there it is. And we can turn the AC off and give this a little bit of a load. So now the generator is now on. Turn that off. Switch this back to shore power. Needle goes up. Okay, this is Jeff with Eternity Shore. Thanks for joining me on this little excursion and little explanation as to what's happening or what's happened this year with our engines. Hasn't been good, but there's always next year, right? Always next year. When are you getting out of the water? So we're Friday, November 14th. Ciao.